Here we are today with Jamie at Ernie Meyer Live, the Ernie Meyer Show. So please welcome to Jamie and our audience and to talk about Jamie a little bit, what she does and what she overcame and why she does what she does now. And she is a single mom of two boys that are 17 years apart in age. Wow. I've been in the salon business, she has been, and spa industry for over 2 decades. Health and wellness are her passion. She has a personal struggle of addiction of all sorts for decades, and she will talk more about that today. Before I do that, I want to remind you that you can make a living or you can design your life. So be sure to stay to the end because Jamie has a special free offer and I have a special free offer that's worth over $1,000 to you if you decide to take it. So with that said, Jamie, why don't you take it away? Tell us about what you came from and what you're doing today.
All right. Well, thank you. First of all, thank you, Ernie, for having me. It's a pleasure to get to do this. And I know that you are also on a mission of helping people and you're very passionate about health as well. And so I know that we connect on that level. And so thank you for just giving me the opportunity to speak today and to hopefully reach anybody that maybe is struggling or know somebody that is struggling with any sort of addiction. So yeah, a lot of what you said is kind of pretty much my whole life. I have been in the salon and spa industry since my oldest son was 2, which means that I have learned all the ways to make people beautiful. But what has really been most important to me throughout my whole career is helping people feel good. And I'll tell you, after working on thousands and thousands and thousands of people in my career, one thing that I know to be true is everybody struggles with something that they don't usually, aren't, what do I want to say? Don't want everybody to know. Everybody's got some little skeletons in the closet or things that, they may struggle with. And when it comes to addiction and these kind of things, there can also be a lot of shame around a lot of that. And I'll tell you, for me personally, being in the health and wellness industry and being so passionate about it, it was quite shameful. And for me to have things that I did that weren't deemed really healthy, and it was hard. And I say often that in a long time, it was my joke was I was the good girl by day and the bad girl by night. And I enjoyed that life. I could do my health and wellness stuff all during the day and I could preach. And I was so good at helping other people, see where they needed different things, whether it be supplements or mindset or just self-care, any of that kind of stuff. But it was harder for me to do it for myself. And, especially after working on people all day, I would want kind of to chill out. I would just I was looking for ways to relax. I was looking for ways to let go of my day. I was, all the stress, all the things. And for me, ever since I was probably about 15 years old is when I really kind of started dabbling in unhealthy things as a teenager. I did realize quite early on that I do have quite an addictive personality. A lot of people will just call it very passionate, which is great. That is the light side of it. But I did realize when I was really young that I pick things up, and if I like them, I have a hard time putting them down. I never really had the off switch, I guess, that some people do, that I hear other people have. And, for me, it can go both ways. It can go either doing unhealthy stuff or doing healthy stuff. I tend to, that's an addictive personality. We kind of we're 100%, we're all in no matter what it is. and it's hard for us to find balance and to find just kind of moderation.
Mhm.
So, and I don't think I ever really portrayed, I don't think I ever really came off to people that I was drinking the way that I was. And I will say, I mean, in the last 20 some years, it could come and go. And there were times when it was just kind of casual. There were times when it became much heavier, where it became detrimental to my life. And, so I get that. I get that and I was actually just talking to a woman yesterday who said, I don't feel like I'm this full blown alcoholic, yet at the same time, I find myself drinking more than I want to be. And I find myself drinking more often than I want to be. And that doesn't make me feel good. So there's this whole kind of gray area, I think, that gets really hard for people. And that's where I kind of lived. It was like not enough to destroy my whole life, but enough to hold me back. And
I can totally relate to that. My mother used to like to come home in the afternoon and drink her cheap wine all afternoon and then go back to work. And she wasn't an alcoholic anyway or either, because alcoholics have to go to meetings and that cut in on her drinking time. So she definitely was undiagnosed bipolar before they knew what a bipolar was. And the last 15 years of her life, she was able to conquer both the bipolar. I don't know if she ever was medicated or however. So, I mean, I can relate to somewhat of what you're doing. Of course, you're not bipolar that I know of, but at the same time, you have that should I or shouldn't I? And you decided in January, at least, that's correct, right? In January, you stopped altogether. And, you said you're a good girl by day and a bad girl by night. And I'm a bad boy all the time, So in any event, you conquered that. And how did you conquer that? And where you are today and what you want to do for others?
Thank you. And I get it. I was kind of at the point. So it was coming out of COVID. It was, that did such a number on everybody. And I kind of, like, me personally, I kind of feel like COVID really is kind of an awakening for the whole planet. And either you're going to wake up or you're not. And this really is a time for us to, get our health in check and to really start taking care of ourselves. And that was the message that I kept getting. And yet I was sitting there watching TikTok and doing my thing. And, because we were shut down. And during quarantine, I mean, so it took me back to, and I love that you brought that up. And a lot of people with your mom is what I'm talking about. And there are so many underlying things that can drive people to addiction, and it is anxiety and depression and these kind of things that people don't know how to deal with. Right. So we go to the easy stuff. We go to food, we go to alcohol, we go to stuff that we can get our hands on that's easy, that's quick, that numbs us out or makes us feel happier or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And but I realized, coming out of quarantine and doing that, and like when you do so much of it, all of a sudden you don't feel good anymore. It's not working that way anymore because it's just a Band-Aid, and so I don't know. It just, honestly, everything with COVID and stuff, it just hit me so hard, and it was a big wake up call to me. And I decided, I was like, you know what, I just want this year and moving forward every year, the rest of my life, to be different than that. And I don't want to live in that darkness anymore. And all the nastiness and ickiness of 2020, everything that was with me and everything, I just wanted to leave it there.
Yes.
So that's what I decided. And, fortunately, because of what I've been doing the last 20 years, a lot of it, I mean, I was taking care of other people
Mhm.
the whole time that I was doing that and in the service industry. And I love taking care of other people. But truly, I started doing all of that to take care of me because I knew I was damaging myself. And I also knew if I didn't counteract that some way, that I was really going to put myself in the grave a lot quicker. And so everything that I've learned through cosmetology school and massage and coaching and all of that truly was for me first.
Yeah.
And then I was able to pass it on. But so that's what I went back to. I've learned the stuff, and I always, like I said, I thought I was always learning that to help other people, but it was really to help me. And I decided that I needed to start walking my talk, right? I don't know, talking my walking, whatever.
Well, it's easy for you to say.
I needed to do what I was saying, yeah, and I needed to,
Exactly.
and stop being a hypocrite, and
Mhm.
I was feeling like a fraud. And so I took all the stuff that I know and that I know to be true and that I know for a fact out of, every bit I've worked on, everything I've done, that the stuff that has come to me.
Mhm.
And I truly do believe it's come to me, and this is not new stuff. I haven't made up anything new. I didn't reinvent the wheel,
Yes.
right? I went back to the stuff that has been around for thousands and thousands of years. I went back to old traditional medicine, to real self-care, to the building blocks, the foundation of being healthy. And, to me, that's the stuff. It's been around 4,000 years. It's still working.
Well,
So,
I'm glad to hear that.
yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen out there in the audience, as Buffalo Bob used to say with Howdy Doody, out there in the peanut gallery, please stay tuned till the end because Jamie has a wonderful free offer for you. And I have a free offer for you that's worth over $1,000. So make sure, my slogan is you can make a living or you can design a life. And Jamie definitely has designed her life. And what do you intend to do with all of your experience moving forward?
Well, my intention is to help as many people as I possibly can do the same thing. I want to give people that helping hand. I want to give people the tools and the resources, things that are tangible that they can use. I love something else you had said kind of jokingly that your mom had said, right, about going to AA meetings.
Mhm.
I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that. There were so many things that I missed out on and that I didn't show up for. Sorry, getting a little emotional because it makes me sad now.
Well,
That because it was cutting into my time, into
yes.
my drinking time. Once you start drinking, yes, you're not going anywhere. And like I said, not everybody's in the place where they want to just go to meetings. And I personally don't want to identify myself as living in recovery either for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to kick it in the bud and get myself healthy and move on. And now I want to help other people do the same so that they can just live the lives that they really want,
Mhm.
that they know they can have, and just show up and be who they really are. And I'll tell you what, the one thing that I was the most afraid of from stopping drinking that held me back for so long, honestly, and this is going to sound strange, was I was so afraid that I was not going to be fun anymore. I thought that if I stopped doing all that, I was just going to be boring. And you know what? So far, that hasn't happened. So
Hear that. You know,
I want to help people enjoy their lives, live
yes.
them, and it's so much better when you're not in a hangover all the time.
I was going to say I'll drink to that, but that's usually my answer to everything.
Okay, we can
Uh,
drink a smoothie now. We can
whoops.
have a mocktail.
That's right. And, Jamie, you're not alone because in the next week or two, I've already talked to somebody who asked to be on my show as well. The Ernie Meyer show, by the way. And this guy, and he's on an equal playing field with the rest of us, but at one time he was a rock star and actually a drummer for bands like Grand Funk Railroad, different places like that. And he talks about his addiction and how he conquered it. He will be on as well. And I love stories like that. And his is a little bit different in that he did hard drugs and everything else besides that. And it was a choice. And he changed around. So you and him will have a lot in common. You're going to read that. You're going to reach out to him. You're going to say, my goodness, Craig, let me be a friend of yours. And he will
Absolutely.
accept you as a friend.
Mhm.
So, you know, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, you'll probably include that in your free offer. So I invite you to do that now.
Yes. So yeah, absolutely. I always offer free consultations with people. I call it a discovery session,
Mhm.
so that we can discover if, for one, my number one requirement is that you're ready. And because what you just said, like your other guest, none of this can happen until people are ready. And but once you make that decision, that's it, man. That's the beginning of it. And we can roll from there. I've got all the other stuff. So if you're ready, then yes, reach out. We'll have a discovery session, and we can talk through, see where you're at, see where you want to be, and see if I have the right stuff for you, and we can get you there. And I'm really teaming up with a lot of other people now too, which is really exciting. And so if it's not me, that's totally fine, but still talk to me first, and I can help to give direction to maybe some other resources or anything else. And I do talk about alcohol a lot. I think that is, for me, towards the end, that was the bigger thing, that and cigarettes, which is actually even harder for me to admit.
Mhm.
um, Strangely enough, but especially being in my field, that's like the biggest faux pas. I Drinking was acceptable, smoking
Mhm.
is not, and
Yeah.
so there's still people out there that still are. So I'd love to help people kick that habit more than anything. And for me, the drinking went with it because they're hand in
Sure.
hand. So, but other addictions as well, Ernie. I have a 24-year-old son who has been struggling with hard drugs now for years. I'm very passionate about working with kids and the young adults, because the quicker we can kick it, you know, the better they are, the better chance they have of making it. And yeah, so sorry, that also gets me a little emotional, because that's really,
That's
my heart is there. And but
Mhm.
it's, I even made a joke that it could be coupons. I don't care if you have a crazy coupon clipping habit. It's, getting in the way of your relationship. If it could be gambling, it could be money, it could be sex. These are all things that it's very hush hush. People don't want
Yeah,
to talk about it. So
exactly.
if you need somebody to talk to, I'm your girl.
All
Come and
right.
talk to me, and we'll help get you on the right track. So
How can they get a hold of you?
my best way is probably by phone. My number is 720-298-7738. And I don't know if maybe, Ernie, if we can link my contact info with any of your stuff on your Facebook or something like that.
I will
That
definitely make sure that it is in the YouTube analysis
Okay,
underneath the description. So, and my
that'd be
free
great.
offer, which is worth $1,000 or more, because my time is that valuable now, and I will still do things for free for people. And my free offer to you is the fact that I will do an interview for you. If you have struggled in business, have struggled in life, and conquered the roadblocks and created success, I don't care if you're a rock star or if you're the person down the street from me. I don't care. All I care about is you. And I want to know, and so does the rest of the audience, want to know what your story is, because there's somebody out there with that problem, and you may have the answer for that problem. So my free offer to you is a free interview, and you can make a living or design a life. And again, this is the Ernie Meyer Show, and it's quickly becoming popular. So ask me to be on the show, and I would love to interview you. Jamie, are there any final thoughts before we go?
Well, I'll just say, I'll also give my email. People can also reach me at cleanbodycleanlife@gmail. And yeah, that's all. Just again, thank you so much. I am very grateful. And I hope, again, if this just reaches one person who needs some help or needs some support, then I hope it does that. And I am here to help people change the habits that can change their life. So
Wonderful. It's like my friend Gary Barnes always says, when I stand in front of an audience, if I've reached one person, I've done my job. So I
absolutely.
thank you. And I believe your testimony will reach a lot of jobs, a lot of people. I still have problems with my brain with this.
It's okay, Ernie. You're doing so great. I mean, you are such a testament, such an amazing testament, Ernie, to why it's so important to take care of ourselves and to advocate for our health. And so thank you for, I know that everything you've been through has been hard and been a struggle, but seeing you get through it is so inspiring. So
Well, thank you. If
absolutely.
I were not taking care of myself, if I was not taking the right kind of supplements and didn't get to the hospital in time.
Well,
not only
that's
would I-
intuition. You listen to yourself.
Yes, well, I did a lot of studies and I knew that when I was having an aneurysm in the brain, and I didn't realize I was having a stroke as well. But, look at me today. I mean, usually people are either crippled or dead.
Yeah.
And as you can tell, I'm neither one.
No, you don't look like, you don't even look like it happened, Ernie.
I feel like that, except, a little dizziness now and then, but that's okay. I can blame that on other things, but that's okay. But
Yeah.
this is about you and about what you've overcome. And it doesn't matter whether or not, you've had something like what I had or yourself. And what you have conquered is greater, and I think more than what I've conquered. And remember, people, you can design your life or you can make a living. The choice is yours. So if you've been struggling with wanting to get ahead or anything like that, if you want your 15 minutes of fame, I'm the guy who can give it to you. There you go. So
Yep.
say goodbye and